Okay, and we're back. Refresh the page, and I think we're good to go. La la la. La la la. Perfect. Okay. And we're back. All right, so you just come out of the. Oh, fuck, I gotta mute that. Shut up. There we go. All right, so you just come out of the residential area and you're just passing by the bar. So we can always make it so that you like pick up breakfast, lunch, and dinner whenever. But if you want to specifically go in there to role play, we can make one of the meals like that if you wish. But we can always make
Uh,
play it so that like you just automatically get food and drink at lunchtime and breakfast and stuff
yeah,
like that.
it'd basically be wake up, she walks in, goes up to the counter, breakfast please, and they'd probably kind of like mumbling to themselves as they give me free food because of what I did last night, and she'd just continue right on over to the library and start her day there.
Very good. All right, did you add your gold to your possession from winning that
Yes.
money? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so now you pretty much can do whatever the fuck you want to do and go adventuring.
Yeah.
Go.
So it'll be like, all right, go here,
Yep.
grab my breakfast, then be like, yeah, I'm going to head over here because I mean, hey, I'm interning and I like knowledge, and there's still lots of books to go through.
Very good. All right, 8 hours to pick one of the other two. So I'll let you pick which one.
Oh, we're just going right into that. Okay, sure.
Yeah, fuck it. No, like you've been here for a couple of days now. She knows you by name. Like you guys are BFFs.
Right on.
Yeah,
And the big snake.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's see where to start today. All right, Westra's gonna bite the bullet and have a look about this the green scale condition
Awesome.
that she
So,
said I had.
so on this side, this is all about the history of basically all the different races that are together within Talmeria. It's basically like a detailed monster manual almost. And as you're taking a
Okay.
look through it, you can kind of notice that every book is like a specific race, and you notice that the entire wall is covered in it. You
Okay.
go up and you start looking through, you see everything from like dragons to grimlocks to zombies, like everything is listed here. But you kind of notice that all of these seem to be based on Talmeria itself and not necessarily the rest of the world. These are all known races from within the government.
Right.
And this is what you find. Just give me a second to get the images out here. I keep on hitting items instead of images, and it's really making me angry.
Yeah, they are right next to each other there, aren't they?
Bam. This is, so out of all of your studying, this is what you find. Bam. So I'll get you to read this out loud, and I'm sorry for spelling mistakes.
All good. A Lost Age of the Serpent. Yuan Ti. A collective race of psionic serpent folk who were seen as corrupt and degenerate monsters by other races. The appearance of Wanti varied greatly from nearly human-like to nearly snake-like, but all had some serpentine features. Scale colors were usually simple greens and browns, but more elaborate swirls, stripes, or diamond patterns were possible, even in blues and reds. Major subraces. The Yuan Ti came in several distinct castes or breeds. The three most prevalent were as follows. Purebloods appeared mostly human with minor reptilian features such as slit eyes, a forked tongue, or patches of scales on their skin. Half-bloods, also called Malaisans. Half-bloods were humanoid in shape but had a wide variety of noticeable serpentine features, such as a snake-like tail in place of legs, a complete covering of scales, a hood like a cobra, a snake's head, or snakes in place of arms. Known subgroups of half-bloods included mind whisperers, pitmasters, and nightmare speakers. Abominations. Abominations were almost completely snake-like with only a few human features such as an arms or a humanoid head.
So at the bottom of this,
I
what you end up noticing is that there's also, that's all you can really find in specific books, but as you're progressing through other books, you can actually see other places in different books where there was some other mention of serpentine creatures, and you were able to find one of the inserts from another book, which is the bottom paragraph. And I'll
all
get you
right.
to read that one out for me.
I once came across a snake the size of a man. He bore me no ill will, but I became intrigued with his eyes. Gold spheres and black iris seemed to come from the pit of hell's self. He warned me of a place that creates serpent men for an underground army. He spoke so fast, but did he speak? It all happened so fast. I must bring this information to the seer leader, Ritling Trivscabin. I will take the next Zeppelin back to Talmaria. Davis Mathau, SEER 1.1.098E.
I have to give you an applaud and applaud. There you go. Right on. So that's kind of the information that you were able to extract from the books themselves.
Okay.
And now,
Westra needs a drink.
there you go. All right. So, yeah, like I
That
said,
was a great read.
yeah, I know, right? That worked out really well. So your character now kind of has an understanding of where your people slightly come from, albeit it's very obscure and factual. Nothing about anything to do with the actual races or like what they do on their spare time or what their goals are actually appear within the manuals. So that might be something to look into later.
Okay.
And just for fun's sake, do you want to just go ahead and research the last thing? Just so I can keep it all in one video? I know that's a little metagamey.
Yeah, we'll say I did them in the opposite order then.
Okay.
Cause like immediately after reading that, she'd like go and get completely wasted and think about what she read. It's like, am I not a human? Am I like some sort of monster snake person kind of thing?
Exactly. So what ends up
Yeah.
happening is, as you progress over to the second set of books, the keeper nods towards you and says, "Aha, the history of Talmaria, a very good read. I believe you should start with that tome over there." And she points to the second shelf, 4 books in.
Yeah. Well, Westra's just gonna run her hands along the spine of the books there, like grab the one that she mentioned there, look at the spine, see what it's called, and start reading through it.
Right on. So a lot of the books are describing Talmarian and how it was built and the time frame it took. A lot of these books and scrolls have like diagrams that show the process of advancement in science of Talmaria, kind of like a bar graph almost. So you get a lot of really cool information. And you're also received, the only thing that you can find of note is the following. And
Ooh.
I'll get you to read that out for me too.
The Rockworm and the Invention of the Planar Zeppelin. 500 years after the dawn of Talmara came the Rockworm pandemic. At this time, Talmaria had to venture out for supplies and fresh waters to sustain life at the level required for a large-scale civilization to survive. But a young dwarf named Talisile, the Forge Master of the Seer, came up with using Echo Lily extract and black powder to move great sky cities to pass over the location known as Pocket Moor, a large body of pure sand dunes devoid of life for good reason.
Oh,
So the desert's infested with like fucking graboids from Tremors.
pretty much.
Gotcha.
So there you go. So you've basically studied. So now, what I want you to do is I want you to increase your intelligence score by 1.
Holy shit, alright.
So you have now finished your internship, and you receive an item into your inventory called Scholar. So you now are a level 1 Tarl Scholar.
Okay.
So you can put, I guess you could put that into your inventory, or you could put that under abilities somewheres.
Okay.
So yeah, you went to school, you read the books, you were tested. You spent like 20 minutes answering a questionnaire from the gatekeeper, and she's just like, "Ah, very well, let me grade your paper. Ah, everything seems to be correct with flying colors. Here you go, this is for you." And she hands you all the items, and you put them into your inventory.
All right.
All right, and scene.
Cool.
There you go. All right. So you have the ability to continue on looking around for stuff, or you have or you can go rest. It's completely up to yourself.
Well, like we said, we're just going to assume I read those in the opposite order
Yep.
for narrative purposes, because like immediately after flipping through all that Yuan Lord is like, I'm having some serious identity crisis. It's time to go get really drunk.
There you go. So as you go in, you can see Pretty Bird is sitting at the table with you, even though you don't see his token yet.
Okay.
And he goes, "Ah, friend, information you have. Ah, smart. So good. Cracker?"
Oh, pretty bird. You're so innocent.
Right on. So the bartender.
Westra wants a lot of wine right now.
Very good. So the bartender comes over, and she doesn't really make eye contact or say too much, but she hands you a drink list.
Westra doesn't even look at the list. He just says, "Give me the strongest one. Give me 5 of them."
She just takes a quick stop back, and she comes forward, and then she hands a bunch of barrels on top. She hands a bunch of wine bottles in front of you, and then she goes back to her business.
All right. Westra's just gonna grab like a couple of bottles of wine and just hand them to Pretty Bird. You hold these, and then she grabs the other 2. I'll hold these, and then she's gonna use her mage hand to take the 5th one, and I'll hold that. She's just
That's
going back to her
amazing.
room. Yeah.
You just see this Yanti walking around with fucking alcohol, the fucking mage hands carrying a bottle behind them. That's amazing. Right on. All right, so I assume you'll be heading back to the rooms to have a nap. Is that the plan?
Oh, to like drink until she passes out, kind of thing.
Awesome. All right. So
How much she drinks, I have no idea how that correlates to her con. Actually, her con's 15, so she could probably down all of that and just be like fucking miserable and pass out.
right on. So you added the +1 to your intelligence, right?
I did, yes.
Very good. What's your intelligence up to now?
19.
Nice. Very good. All right, so you kick back in your room, and you're just kind of like a little distraught about the information you learned. You're kind of pondering from different types of subcategories of Yuan-Ti, and you kind of discern that you must be of the purebloods by the sounds of these articles, but something just doesn't sit too right with you. You seem like maybe the categories themselves were just not really defined back where you came from. So like in your backstory, you were from Telmeria originally, or were you from abroad?
She was like from Talmaria, but it's like, she just kind of was like abandoned at birth, had no idea she grew up in a human orphanage, so she just assumed that she was human, and she was just kind of weird looking because she
Gotcha.
had like a skin condition or something.
Your mind kind of goes to the subcert extract text that you were able to find, and the mention of some of your kind being created kind of fascinates you, and you wonder if
Well, yeah,
you wonder yourself if you were created by magic.
yeah. I mean, I mean, she is like a scholar at heart, so she'd have some sort of morbid fascination with that, even though she's kind of like also terrified at the same time because it's like I don't really know what I am, but she, thinks about all her companions that she's kind of met on the way, and it's like, well, I think I see why I fit in here. We're all just kind of like freaks of nature kind of thing.
Right on. Okay. So the day progresses by, you get super fucking sloshed, and you just kind of wake up the next morning, and you hear a knock on the door.
Oh, go away, my head hurts.
The knocking of the door increases in sound and in urgency.
Oh, what do you want?
Just over to the right-hand side of the room, you can see that there's a table with a chair pulled out, and you see just like a flask of water in a nice glass cup.
Oh, how much did I drink last night? Maybe I
You
should have some water.
you look around on the ground, and as you stumble out of bed, you kick the empty wine bottles across the room by accident. They start clinking up in the corner.
Nice. Yeah. Just kind of like clutching her head. She's just gonna make her way to the table and just like grab the water, drink it. Come in, come in.
The door opens up as you're chugging back like a lot of water. Your mouth is very dry, and you can kind of feel as you run your tongue over your fangs that it's almost dry as a desert, and the water quenches your thirst to no avail. You have to drink.
Mm,
You have to drink another several glasses to kind of get the taste back into your mouth, but then you feel normal as the door opens. All of a
okay.
sudden, you're presented by Pretty Bird, who comes into your room, and he's like, "Friends, friends, very important, must come. Oh, please, friends, danger."
Friends, danger. Westra holds up the glass. Westra water. Pretty bird water. Westra.
You kind of see
And this,
you have a look at the very panicked face of Pretty Bird, and he's just like panicking. But then he looks at you, kind of like how a dog would look whenever it doesn't understand. Like, huh?
uh, maybe I should talk normally and he'll understand, she thinks to herself. I need water. My head hurts. Can you get me some more?
Ah, friend, thirsty, yes. And then he just kind of humples over towards the table and pours another glass. You see him have a little bit of trouble pouring water into the glass just because of how long his talons are on his main hands, but he eventually gets
Okay.
it and brings it over to you and says, "Friends, drink."
Okay. Mm. What's bothering you, pretty bird?
Friends, danger. Left. Lab. Danger. Attacked.
That doesn't sound good, but isn't also very descriptive. Pretty bird, just. I'm assuming you can understand me, so can you just speak in your normal language?
You can kind of see him try, like he's getting frustrated as he's like slamming his feet on the ground one at a time, like "Grr," like an angry child. And he goes, "Your your friends are in danger. Attack at Lily Lab. Investigating. Attack from Sarl Machiavelli orders." And he extends his hand towards you, and you can actually see that it's an emblem that has the Seer logo on it, and below it you.
Oh,
And he just hands it off to you, and he says, "Contract for internship at guards. Give access to lab."
yeah, I am an intern. Well, this isn't the start to the day I wanted, but I better go get them out of trouble, like I always have to do, since Jaladri's always putting his beak where it doesn't belong.
There you go. All right, so I just need a quick moment.
Mhm.
I have to zoom out of this fucker. All right, so you just move your dude where you want to go.
Well, they're possibly in danger and stuff, but like Westra knows that she'll be kind of useless if she just staggers over there. So like on the way past, she's gonna go into the tavern as per usual. Just walk up to the counter, breakfast, grab her free breakfast, and just kind of
Yeah, you're pretty.
nom
At this point,
nom whatever
she
it is.
basically owes you a breakfast every morning for being an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so you're just gonna kind of grab that like on the way past, and it's like Echo Lab. So I haven't actually been there, but I mean, I would very clearly know where it is since I did my apprenticeship while we were on the
Oh hell yeah!
or
And you
internship.
even,
Yeah.
and not only that, you also see the tavern lord that was like teaching you. She's actually eating there as well and gives you a wave as you pass by.
Yeah. I just kind of give a weak wave. Like, Wester's not really in the mood for conversation right now.
There you go. So as you head out the door, Prit Ebird starts to point down towards the far end where the Echo Lab is.
Okay. So we'll head up that way. And I'll just kind of, munch, munch, munch whatever, you know, melon slices or apples or whatever they were serving for breakfast there.
Nice. It's a continental breakfast, coffee and, you know, breakfast sandwiches and that kind of shit.
Oh, okay. So, like a standard breakfast sandwich, egg,
Yeah,
meat,
this
veggies, whatever.
this specific meal is more like military style, where it's like almost like a buffet, and they're just like digging shit out of like pans and like deep casserole dishes, and there's like a big lineup going on, and it only takes you probably about 5 minutes to get through it because the bartender knows who you are, and she just wants you to get the fuck out as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right on. So
Yeah.
as you approach, there's a sign above the door that has a blue imprint of what you see as an echo lily. That is what the
Yeah.
sign looks like.
Yeah. This must be the place. Haven't been in here yet. Wonder what it's like. So, well, it being a lab, I'm going to knock on the door rather than just walk right in.
All you hear is, "Come in, come in, come in."
All right, so I do. I'm just gonna open the door and take a step inside there, I guess.
Nice. Pretty bird follows you.
Perfect.
He comes in too. All right.
Yeah.
So,
What do I see?
so as you enter in, you see a large room with several desks facing away from the door. It's manned by like several scientists who seem to be scribing government documents and various alchemical order lists. Up on the wall, you see various maps of unknown locations, various underground maps, and directly in the center of the room on the wall, you see a podium that was covered in cloth, but you see the cloth is on the ground, and you can actually see it to be a map of Ernharn.
Oh,
And I will show that to you now.
that looks very useful.
Bam. So that's the place you're going.
Yeah.
So,
And
Kote's...
this map is just sitting on the floor.
No, it's up on a pedestal behind glass.
Oh, okay.
So I
Damn.
have to metagame this for a second. Kote's already said that if he has any downtime and he needs for studying, he wants to scribe this map onto one of his painting boards, so you don't have to worry about getting a copy of this. Kote's got it covered.
Oh, okay. If it was loose, I was just gonna just
Yoink it.
fucking look around, see if they were busy, and just kind of take it on my person if they weren't paying attention.
Right on. I'm gonna give this a full screen view for people watching. Just give me
Yeah.
1 second.
Ooh, it's a big coliseum.
Yeah, like it's a fucking huge desert city. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge, huge, huge.
Oh, there's some Roman architecture there. Should be pretty interesting to poke around here when we get there.
Absolutely. So you can also we're not going to add that into your inventory or anything. We're all under the assumption that we have that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so as you're looking across and you see that on the desk, there's one desk that's facing you, of course, and it has an elderly man who seems to be packing letters into envelopes with emblem seals of the Sali on it. They're sealed, processed, and placed in a stack upon his desk in a little envelope holder. You
Okay.
also see several human civilians that are bouncing around from table to table. They're presenting the scientists with food and drinks and supplies to be able to do pretty much anything
Uh,
you want.
pages then, basically.
Yeah, so there's like the civilians that are just basic humans, but then everyone else here seems to be a magical researcher of some kind.
Okay.
All right, so you approach the desk that is facing you, and all you see is a stack of books on the center to the right hand side of his table, and you kind of his face is kind of hidden, and then he kind of pops his head up and he looks at us like, "Ah, friends, what can I do for you?"
Well, I'm just gonna kind of look to Pretty Bird, and say they're not here.
Pretty Bird walks up and says, "Friends went in further."
Oh. So I'm gonna look to the elderly gentleman there. Hi. Did my acquaintances come through here? I'm looking for them.
What is your name?
Westra?
He kind of like fiddles around with a couple of sheets and he looks around and he says, "Ah, I see you on the list here, but nobody is allowed without the pass."
Oh, the pass? I did an internship. Is that good enough?
All right, I'm going to
And I
get you
just
to
kind of
roll
hang
an
up and
I'm going
hold
to
up the
get you to roll
paper.
an insight check for me.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
So, although you have a little bit of a hard time figuring out usually what Pretty Bird is saying, he kind of is pointing towards your pocket, and you kind of get the feeling that there's something in your inventory that you need to provide this guy.
Okay. I'm gonna go with my initial assessment there of hey, I've got this internship. Can I go through?
He looks it up and down. He's like, oh, so you're studying with her, are you? Well, very well. If I must, we can also offer you an internship here that would grant you access to the rest of the building, I guess. And he introduces himself. He's like, "My name is Michael. I run this institution. Your friends were here earlier. I gave them a guided tour, but then they left. But they were investigating something on the interior of the lab. There was an attack that happened here earlier, and they were investigating it. But then a large explosion happened, and they took off. But
Goodness,
from what
is
I
everyone okay?
says, from what I hear, it has been taken care of. The alarms aren't on anymore, so I assume everything is fine. But if you have any more questions, you should talk to Machiavelli."
Okay. Um, I definitely want to take you up on the internship here because knowledge is power.
Very good. So
But I think I better look into what my friend's trouble that they've gotten themselves into this time is first.
very good. All right. So what would you like to do?
Well, based on what he said, first Westra is going to think I must have slept a lot because I heard no explosions or alarms.
Yeah. So remember,
Uh,
this fucking place is massive. Like this is like a floating city. So if an
yeah,
explosion
yeah,
happens somewhere, it might not all come right back.
right. While we're talking, after I mentioned that, totally interested in the internship, it'd be like, then the next logical point of conversation would be, where is Machiavelli then?
He says, "Oh, Machiavelli is just over in the Seer Council area, just to the south."
Okay, thank you. I will be back. We'll
Before
do all the studying.
before you leave, sir, here, take this with you. And he gives you a little bit, a scroll that seems to be boundly tight, and there seems to be like a little area where there used to be, it used to be sealed by candle liquor, and you see that it's broken, so you're able to open it and read it.
Okay. Well, naturally, whatever's on this scroll is way more important than whatever trouble my acquaintances have gotten themselves into, so I'm going to look at that first.
Okay, so you've unlocked the ability to craft potions.
Woo!
So down at the bottom, you'll see what the DC saves are for potions.
Oh, okay.
And that's all under interpretation if you choose a potion that is not from this campaign.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, and then if you fail the DC, you lose all components except for the Echo Lily used in the process. So say, for example, if you wanted to build like a health potion and it was like, I have Newt and Dreamwort and an Echo Lily, and you mix them all together, but it fails, it doesn't use up the Echo Lily, but it destroys the other two items.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I just made a note of that there.
Very good. So he sends this with you. He's basically asking you to kind of like town crier for him to attract more members.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do. Are you? I'm assuming you're going to be very picky about who you want in here.
Says yes, but who knows? After the explosion that happened, who knows if even most of my colleagues will be coming back. They spent most of their times working in the engine rooms.
Something tells me that that's where I'll find my acquaintances rather. But I'll go check with Machiavelli first since he saw them more recently.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so you know down to the south is the Seer's Chambers, so I'll just get you to move up to the door.
Yeah, so, just do. Right around here. There's the door.
Right. So right before you go in, Pretty Bird's following you. He goes, orders? Yep. And he extends his hand.
Does he have anything in his hand?
No.
Okay. I'm going to look at Pretty Bird and just assume he's asking me for orders. And, if anyone tries to do anything to me, I'm going to have a look at Pretty Bird. What do his weapons look like?
So would you like me to metagame this or DM this?
DM it.
Okay.
DM it.
Very good. So as
I have no idea how he fights. So what would my assumption be based on appearance there?
Very good. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to roll a history check, an arcana check, and a perception check. Okay. And then based on your dice rolls, I'll tell you what you see.
Yeah. Why isn't it letting me grab my checks here? Do I have too much stuff open? Maybe.
Well, you have to do it off your character sheet.
I grabbed it. I grabbed it from the wrong place. That's why.
Okay, so there's your history.
History, Arcana, and Perception.
Okay, so from what you remember upon the contract, whenever you guys got binded the contract, Machiavelli was the one that gave you the contract. This was not discussed in campaign, by the way. This is brand new knowledge. Okay. Machiavelli was the one that gave you the contract to get a sidekick, and he gave it to you, not necessarily just you, but the group. So you know this guy is kind of like a sidekick kind of character that you can only give specific orders to. So you can either get him to spy, bodyguard, or kind of like GTFO, like just go away, like dismiss him. Like gotcha. Those are really the only three things. And upon his person, you can see that he's wearing a large cloth. But upon his back, you can actually see a very pristine short bow with quiver, with many arrows in it. And on his waist, you can see a set of daggers that look pretty cool.
All right, gotcha. So like another ranger type character.
Well, let's give you
From my assumption, anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's give you a knowledge history check one more time.
sure thing.
All right, so you're able to determine that most rangers don't carry daggers, so you think it could possibly be something else.
Okay,
So now I'm
fair
going
enough.
to give you Pretty Bird's character sheet, and you are in
Oh,
control
okay.
of him.
All right. Well, as for the
Or I
order,
can run him. Fuck it. He's got yeah.
yeah, yeah. As for orders, I'm just gonna look at him and say, "You're my bodyguard." Like it's the most obvious fucking thing in the world.
He goes, friends, happy, me am. And he puts his hand down and kind of looks a little sad.
I'll give him a cracker.
He just makes this loud goose-like scream, and he just starts eating it out of your hand. And I'm gonna get you to take 1 point of non-lethal damage from him picking your hand apart. It actually hurt, so you don't have to worry about it. It's
Jesus.
non-lethal damage.
All right. So I put it over here. Temporary. How do I do this on the combat tracker?
What about the combat tracker? Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna put my 1 damage on there.
Oh, don't do anything with the combat tracker. Just keep the combat tracker closed.
Okay,
You
cool.
do it on your character sheet.
Oh, so temporary. I just put myself down by 1, kind of thing.
Oh, you don't even have to. It's just temporary HP. We don't really qualify it. The only way that it would actually affect you is if it was your total HP amount. So don't even worry about
Okay.
it. It's just flavored.
Okay. Cool. All right. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that section you were looking at is temporary HP that other people give you.
All right. I'm just gonna kind of. Ow! Pretty. That was. Oh God. And she's just gonna collect herself for a moment there and just think to herself, next time I do that, I'm using my mage hand.
There you go. Perfect. Because that's
Yeah.
that's the one you can cast over and over and over again, right? It
It
doesn't take a spell slot. It's the
it
cantrip.
is. Yeah, it's a cantrip.
That's dope. That's a good cantrip to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right on. All right. So, I guess we're heading in.
Uh, well, we're being polite about it. We're going to knock first.
Right on. So, as you knock upon the door, you can actually hear many, many voices on the other side, bellowing and screaming. And as you knock on the door slides open on its own as if it wasn't even locked or closed properly.
Okay. Does anyone like turn to look at me as the door opens as I knock on it?
Hell no.
Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of breathe a sigh of relief and just kind of, you know, quietly let myself into the room and close the door behind myself and Prit.
Very good. All right. So, whenever you enter, there seems to be a large discussion happening currently. You enter, and it seems so. You enter what seems to be like a makeshift conference room with makeshift thrones made of books. A makeshift throne made of books, and that's where you see Machiavelli sitting.
Okay.
Other things are like chairs and broken things throughout the room. It seems to be very, very last minute setup. You see a tiefling sitting arguing with other tieflings in open court, and one of them is identified as Machiavelli. The first tiefling, what is the plan? I mean, what do we do? The Tarl have taken the city. And you hear another tiefling shout out, the only remaining forces we have are the Sali and the Seer that are on the ship. The second tiefling number 2 steps forward and says, all of the Tarl forces on the ship are in cages. We should just kill them and be done with it. Another tiefling steps up, but what of the damage to the lab and the engine room? The criminals could still be out there somewheres. And Machiavelli stands up, kind of locking eyes with you, Westra, and he goes, calm, 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 calm. And the chatter in the room dispels. Machiavelli says, we have guests? Come on in, my friends. And kind of waves you forward.
All right. I'm just gonna basically go to where he's directing me to go, I guess.
Very
Is he
good.
like beckoning me up towards him
Yeah,
or
he's asking you
motioning
to
to the
come
chair?
forward.
Oh, okay. So,
So we'll just say,
yeah, there you go.
right here. Ah, the second pairing of consorts finally arrive. Your friends.
Sorry,
I just
sorry
spotted
to
them less
interrupt.
than an hour ago.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. I did come here to figure out where they went. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to bother you.
He says, not a problem, not a problem. In fact, traveling companions are hard to come by. We survived the attack of a large monster together. You will always have a friend within me. And he kind of just bows his head towards you with major, major respect. He kind of
Oh,
has a
you're so
look around.
nice.
And he kind of half-at looks towards Pretty Bird. And he kind of looks up and down. And he can actually see that Pretty Bird is holding an insignia. And it's the insignia of a sword upon it. And it's the one he tried to offer you earlier.
Right.
And he says, ah, my sigil. I see your friend here has one. I guess it's time to explain to you what has been going on. I apologize, but the danger continues even now, my friends. An unseen force moves to destroy us. Our Echo Lab was recently attacked, and it seems a lot of information was either stolen or destroyed. We have no idea who is behind this or what they're after. My men are currently securing and repairing the engine room as it was attacked as well. That is where you'll find your friends. They have gone to support our troops. I am of the need of aid. Fine. So you've already met Gastaff and Quinn, so we're skipping
Yes.
that part. So what he would
Okay.
do in that situation is send you to get to tell them that you want to join the guards, but you technically already have. So you're an intern of the guard now if you have one of the
Oh.
sigils. So
Okay.
Machiavelli offers you a second one as Pretty Bird already has one of his own.
Okay.
And he just basically goes, it's been a long day. If you choose to go to the Echo Lab, please bring this badge with you. And he gives you an Inquisitor's badge, so please add that to your inventory. So this will get you past the door without being an intern.
Oh, okay. Oops. Okay. Done and done.
All right.
Man, I'm interning for everyone now.
Hell yeah, everybody else just fucked right off on it. I couldn't believe it.
Huh.
But anyways, so what? So now that you have all the badges, Machiavelli basically kind of bows down and says, "For my sake, please, before you venture in with your friends, please go see Michael." And he refers you back over to the Echo Lab.
Okay. I was just there and he didn't seem too busy, so I'll go back.
Very good. Machiavelli bows towards you, and the conversation between all of the tieflings seems to erupt again in open court, and you can kind of hear him trying to beckon and call his other friends.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of awkwardly show myself out while they continue to have their heated discussion. It's just kind of like I really, really don't want to impede on that.
Very good. All right, so you and Pretty Bird are outside, and he looks over towards you and says, "Friend, smart. Work for. Leader. Prit, help."
Yes. Very good, Prit. We're going back to see Michael for a moment first. So we're gonna, wander back up here.
Very good. Now, I have a metagame question for you.
Okay.
What's your energy level like?
Um, I can go for a while there.
You can go for a while? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
what...
No, I
So,
had that big nap, so I'm good for now.
awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the live stream off and set
Okay.
up for Solo Adventure 3 if you wish. We'll take a
Oh
little
shit.
break.
Okay. Cool.
All right, cool. So, guys watching on the stream, we're going to stop it right there for a little bit of a break. I'm going to make some coffee and maybe a sandwich. We're going to start up in about 15 minutes.